and gentlemen, girls and boys, Blue Jay fans of all ages, welcome to Canada Day at Rogers Centre, home of your Toronto Blue Jays. Please welcome viewers on Rogers Sportsnet, now joining us live, coast to coast across this great land on this special day, Canada's 144th birthday.
Trans-Canada cross, patriotic and a honor with my hand on my heart. From the greatest of lakes to the greenest of greens to the rockiest mountains and everything in between. Oh Canada, oh you're no fan of us cause a movie and TV shows are so amateur. Yeah, we laugh it off, that don't really bother me. Look, we ain't serious unless we really gotta be. Yeah, I know where I'm from and I told you before. North of America, hard to ignore. Every time I go away I tell them for sure. I'm from Canada, oh Canada. I'm from the East Coast of Canada, oh Canada. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Canada, so sometimes words come over my mouth like this. Get used to it.
Toronto Blue Jays initiative to support and continue to grow the great game of baseball in Canada, the Blue Jays are honored today to host the Canadian Junior National Team. This team is made up of some of the best 18 and under baseball players in Canada, managed by Greg Hamilton. This year's team had 10 players selected in the June Major League Baseball draft, including Tom Robson, selected by the Blue Jays in the 4th round. This September, the junior national team will travel to Colombia to participate in the America's World Junior Qualifier, competing to qualify for the 2012 World Junior Baseball Championships. Accompanying the team to the field is the Mosquito Aurora Jays. Fans, a warm welcome to the Canadian Junior National Team. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, we ask you to please rise and remove your caps. In honor of Canada Day, we're proud to have presenting the colors, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. This past Tuesday, Toronto and the Toronto Area York Regional Police Service lost Constable Garrett Stiles in the line of duty. A 7-year veteran of police services and beloved husband and father, Constable Stiles is survived by his wife Melissa and 2 children. Please join us in observing a moment of silence in his memory. Thank you. Please remain standing. With us to perform the national anthems is 2nd Lieutenant Scott Newland, Queen's Own Rifles of Canada.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the pale so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the hope of the brave? Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command, à ton bras c'est porter les pays, y c'est porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Scott Newland. 25 years ago, Rick Hansen wheeled around the planet on his Mad in Motion World Tour, advancing awareness of the potential of people with disabilities. Since then, Rick has raised over $245 million for spinal cord injury research with the goal of developing healthy and inclusive communities for all. The Rick Hansen Foundation launching the Rick Hansen Relay, a 12,000-kilometer tour from Newfoundland and Labrador to British Columbia this August. 7,000 participants from across Canada can take part by joining at rickhansenrelay.com. The relay will come through Toronto along with Rick November 5th, 2011. To throw out our ceremonial first pitch, Rick Hansen. Brandon Morrow to receive. Fans, let's hear it for the Man in Motion, Rick Hansen.
Celebration outstanding with Rick Hansen on side here and throwing out the first pitch. The junior Canadian national team with Tom Robson, a draft choice also, and the Philadelphia Phillies are in town. But a great opportunity. Canadian forces with the great Canadian flag out on the middle of the field, and it's a pretty special time, and I like our shirts.
Well, first of all, happy Canada Day to you,
Thank
Buck.
you. Same to you.
I think this is our adoptive country. We spent so much time here, and everybody gets behind it, and it's such a great feel being in this country.
It's a pretty special day, obviously, and we're glad to be part of it. And you're right, it is like our second home. And, of course, back here is Roy Halliday making his visit back to where he started with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Masterful effort tonight from Roy Halliday, who completes his 7th game. The doctor is definitely back.
Roy Halliday presenting the lineup card to the home plate umpires and exchanging greetings with Brian Butterfield. I spoke to Roy this morning in the clubhouse of Philadelphia, and he was very emotional about coming back here. Of course, he was mentored by Pat Henkin when they were both in the organization. Roy Halliday, one of the best pitchers this organization has ever seen, and certainly has had a continuance of that career in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think he's taken it to the next level since he has gone to Philadelphia. You've got the perfect game in Florida. You've got the no-hitter in the playoffs. Alex Anthopoulos getting into it. He was the one who had to trade Roy Halliday when he took over as general manager. I think he did a pretty good job.
He sure did, and Roy Halliday is very happy to be back here, and now you're going to hear the response. I can tell you this, Roy Halliday is not a very emotional guy and certainly doesn't like to draw attention to himself, and it was quite a gesture that the Blue Jays extended to him that he was able to accommodate them by going out to let the fans acknowledge his return to Toronto.
Yeah, be part of the surroundings. We all know he's going to pitch tomorrow, and we all know how he is on game days. He doesn't like to talk to the media or anybody. He's so focused. So today is a perfect opportunity for the fans to come out and thank him for everything he did for this team and organization.
I don't care how long you've played in a new surroundings, there's always that great feeling when you come back to your original team. Roy Halliday, a former #1 pick of the Blue Jays, a Cy Young Award winner, and he has just set a high standard for pitching both in the American League and now in the National League. When you think back to where Roy Halliday ranks among the Toronto pitchers for his career, second in franchise wins, first in winning percentage, ERA's third, strikeout second. I mean, just every category you can imagine, he's first, second, or third.
What's impressive about that is where he came from. Remember, he burst onto the scene with that near no-hitter and then had to reinvent himself and reinvent the way that he was going to get hitters out. Went all the way back to A-ball, climbed all the way back, and he was a different person. He was a different pitcher, and he was a different teammate when he came back here in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and it's easy to say that he went down there and did all the work, but he truly did all the work himself, and like you say, he has raised the standard very high for pitching all around baseball. Ricky Romero's following in his footsteps. He has become the ace of this Blue Jays staff, and let's take a look at Charlie Manuel's lineup. The Phillies are 16-7 for their record against left-handed starters. Jimmy Rollins, Placido Polanco, and Chase Utley. Utley started out the season on a disabled list. He's just now rounding into form. Ryan Howard, Shane Victorino, Ben Francisco, middle of the order. The youngster Dominic Brown is in right field. Carlos Ruiz, one of the best catchers in all of baseball, behind the plate, and Wilson Valdez will play shortstop. Jimmy Rollins is the DH this afternoon.
Ricky Romero will head to the mound for his 17th start this season. In the midst of one of his best stretches in his career, he's won 2 of his last 3 starts with an ERA just over 1 at 1.13, going at least 7 innings each time. Tossed a 4-hit shutout versus St. Louis his last time out, his second career complete game shutout. Ricky has faced the Phillies twice in his career. He's 1-0 with 16 strikeouts in 14 innings pitched against the Phillies. Here at home, last 3-0 with 23 Ks and 22 strikeouts.
A little different look for Ricky Romero behind him. Aaron Hill gets the day off at second base. John McDonald starts there. In the outfit, it's Rivera Davis and Eric Thames. Thames playing in right field. Done a good job so far. Escobar, McDonald up the middle. Bautista, Lind at the corners. And JP Arancibia, as he does all the time, back behind the plate to handle Ricky Romero.
Johnny Mack with his 11th start at second base, just to give Aaron Hill a breather. They're going to play 17 games in 17 days before the break. So John Farrell wants to give some of his regulars a day off.
It is a perfect day for baseball here at Rogers Center on this beautiful Canada Day. Jimmy Rollins, the switch hitter, will step in to start the game against Ricky Romero. Downstairs. Beautiful crowd here. Lots of red in the stands, and it's projected to be a full house all weekend long. Rollins pops it out of play. Philadelphia Phillies 51-30 this season. Ricky Romero understands he's got his hands full. It's one of the best teams in all of baseball.
Well, they can pitch it and they can catch it, and they've got certain hitters in that lineup who are very dangerous. It'll be interesting to watch if they end up pitching around them.
We mentioned the Phillies' record is against left-handed starters. They're 16-7, but as a club, they've only hit .236 against lefties.
It's a lineup for the Phillies that is dominated by left-handed batters.
Rollins went too far. It's 2-2.
Here are the numbers for Romero in his last 3 starts. We mentioned the 1.13 earned run average. How about the whip? He is not allowing base runners. He is attacking that strike zone and is piling up the strikeouts.
Rollins lays off that changeup. This is the table setter for the Phillies. As Jimmy Rollins goes, so goes the Phillies. He needs to get on base, set up the middle of that batting order. Utley and Ryan Howard. Leadoff walk by Romero.
This afternoon's scouting report for Ricky Romero brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Strike one. That has been his mantra over the last 8 or 9 starts. 21 of 32 first pitch strikes his last time out. Bullpen breather. He gives that bullpen a breather whenever he takes the mound. He's going to go at least 7 innings. He's done that his last 9 starts. Another thing that I like about Romero is he's got that selections for strikeouts. He can get you with that curveball, or he can get you with that changeup.
35-year-old Placido Polanco shows bunt and takes it upstairs. JP Arancibia going to go out and talk to Romero. You can bet there's a little adrenaline pumping through Ricky's veins here this afternoon. Great atmosphere. You got the front-running Phillies in town. Roy Halladay is going to pitch tomorrow, and this is going to be a series all about terrific pitching. Romero starts here this afternoon. Halliday will start tomorrow afternoon for Philadelphia, and then Cliff Lee on Sunday.
Some of the best in all of baseball going in this series. And I think you're right, Romero. There's a buzz in the building right now with all the people here, all the excitement. So I'm sure he's going to have to take a deep breath and get back into it.
Jimmy Rollins 16 for 17 in steals this season. Sam Perlazzo, the first base coach. Phillies are always a high stolen base percentage ball club. Romero's got to find the strike zone.
He's doing the right thing. Taking a walk off the back of that mound. Gather yourself just a little bit. Take a deep breath. You mentioned the stolen bases, the fewest caught stealings. The Phillies have the best percentage in all of baseball. They've only been thrown out 9 times all season long.
There's a strike. That stolen base record has a lot to do with their former first base coach, Davey Lopes, a great base stealer in his playing days. Lopes was meticulous in his preparation for his base runners, and the players have taken it, and they continue to remind themselves of some of those tips Davey Lopes instilled in them. 2-1. Outside. See, Romero's constantly reminding himself to stay back, and that's what happens when you got a little extra adrenaline going. You want to jump at home plate, and that's really creating problems for him right now.
Get a little ahead of yourself a little bit, and the best thing to do is just stay over that rubber a little bit longer. Just a little bit of a hesitation to let your arm catch up to your body.
Polanco taking all the way.
He can handle the bat. Polanco, an ideal number 2 batter. He can hit the ball the other way, makes a lot of contacts. He can handle that bat. Wouldn't be surprised to see Rollins take off here.
There he goes. Into right field. Thames over in the gap. Gets there and makes the catch. Polanco's retired.
Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned Home Hardware or Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Ricky Romero recording the first out of the afternoon. Now he'll face a couple of left-handed hitters, Chase Utley and Ryan Howard. Utley, the third hitter. Just 32 games for Utley. He had knee surgery in the offseason. Took him a long time to get healthy, but he is up to speed again.
Blue Jays play the Phillies many times in spring training because they're right next to each other down in Florida, and they did not see Chase Utley at all. Did not play in any spring games. Just activated off the disabled list at the end of May. So there's going to be that period where he is going to have to get himself into shape, get his timing down. There's umpires moving around out there as Escobar asked the second base umpire Ed Hickox to move out of his way.
First pitch strike. Romero, like so many good pitchers, once he finds that strike zone, he'll carve you up. We have seen during this stretch of 9 games a varying degree of command early in the game, but most often he has been ahead in the first inning.
And that's from using his fastball. Earlier in this season, Ricky Romero pitched against the Red Sox, and he would pitch against the New York Yankees multiple times, and really felt like he had to go to his go-to pitch early in the count, where that's not the way he's done it in his last few starts. He has attacked him with the fastball early, and he has used his changeup and curveball to record the outs.
Still not into that real good rhythm out of his delivery just yet. 1 out. Rollins is at first base. Chase Utley, one of the premier run producers, and a guy that you can count on middle of the order to have good at bats. Popped up. Should be playable. Aaron Seavey in front of the Blue Jays dugout. Utley's retired. So with 2 outs, the big slugger Ryan Howard will step in, hitting .254 for the season, but the production always there. 64 RBIs in 81 games.
He'll get a lot of extra base hits, 17 doubles. You see the 17 home runs. On base plus slugging at .842. The thing I like about Howard is he can hit the ball out of any part of the ballpark. He doesn't have to pull it to be a home run.
2 outs. Look at the shift as McDonald is in shallow right field.
And now Jose Bautista, who's playing third base this afternoon, heading out towards right field also. He is the other player for the Blue Jays back in short right field.
And they moved Bautista from third over into that basically second base position to keep Escobar at shortstop where he's most comfortable. Off-speed pitch. Howard's hit .260 against left-handed pitching this year, but he's not hit a home run against lefties. Bautista reminding Escobar who's got the coverage should there be a play towards second. If Rollins should run here. 0-2, 2 outs. There goes Rollins. Fly ball into center field. Davis. Phillies are retired in the first. Ricky Romero walks the first batter, but Spearans Rollins at first. Everybody is wearing their red in honor of the great Canadian Maple Leaf. And let's take a look at the starting lineups. It's brought to you by TD Canada Trust. Banking can be this comfortable. Escobar had a big day at the plate yesterday. 3 hits and a walk. He also homered. Eric Thames, Jose Bautista. Adam Lind has been named the Blue Jays Player of the Month for a great month. He hit .311 for the month of June. Edwin Encarnacion, Juan Rivera, J.P. Arancibia homered in last night's game. Rajay Davis starting to swing the bat a little bit better, and John McDonald fills in for Aaron Hill at second.
Injuries to some of the starters on the Phillies staff has brought Kyle Kendrick out of the bullpen. Roy Oswalt was forced to leave his last start. That was on June the 23rd, and Kendrick relieved and allowed 2 runs, 4 innings while picking up a no decision. Has started just 5 of his 19 games this season, going 2-2 with .391 earned run average. It's awfully nice to have a pitcher like this that can swing back and forth from your staff to your bullpen.
Kind of like Carlos Villanueva has done for the Blue Jays. Escobar takes the first pitch down for a ball. Escobar, a couple of singles and a home run in yesterday's game. He also took a walk in the 8th inning. Average up to .289. Pops it out of play.
Getting some good pitches to hit over his last few ball games, and he's not missing it. Stayed back on a changeup the other night, drove it out for his 9th home run. He's also using the middle of the field a little bit more.
Had a rough couple of days. Had a rough collision at second base. Matt Diaz slid hard into him and fouled the ball off his foot. And this time he gets hit.
Kyle Kendrick has excellent command. This is just the 3rd batter that he has hit all season long, trying to go up and in, and it looked like it got him on the wrist area. just trying to push him off the plate. They were trying to go inside on Escobar.
And caught him flush on the back of that hand. George Poulos is out to make sure he's got strength in his hand. Anytime you see a player hit on the hand, you really have to make sure that he's okay. Brett Lawrie suffered that serious fracture of his hand. Same type of situation down in Las Vegas, and he's still not back.
Yeah, there's just so many bones there, and you could get hit there, take an x-ray and not see anything, and then find it a day or two later. But you mentioned the tough couple of days for Escobar. In last night's ball game, he got kicked in the stomach on a play at second base. You mentioned the foul ball off of his foot that came right in between his shin guards there. Knocked him down for a little bit.
I think they're going to take him out of the game. George Poulos recommended to John Farrell that they take a closer look. So Escobar will be taken out of the game. Well, that's an unfortunate development for Yunel Escobar. He had 7 hits in the Pirates series.
10 for his last 20. Home run and 3 RBIs. Aaron Hill, who was supposed to get the day off. That lasts a half an inning. He'll come in and pinch run for Escobar, go into second base, and shift John McDonald over at shortstop. It looked like everything was going to be okay with Escobar until George Poulos found the soft spot and pushed on it, and that's when he really jumped and really felt it. So we'll go in and get that thing x-rayed.
Of course, the stadiums nowadays, everybody has an x-ray machine on site, so they'll get a quick look at it. Eric Thames drills it to right field, got under it a bit, and Dominic Brown is there. Looked like it might have been an off-speed pitch.
Defensively for the Phillies, they've committed the fewest errors in all of baseball. They can pitch it, and they certainly can catch it. Victorino Francisco and Dominic Brown in the outfield. Wilson Valdez at shortstop will give Jimmy Rollins the day off, just his 6th start at shortstop. Utley and Howard on the right side, and Carlos Ruiz, a very underrated catcher, behind the plate this afternoon.
34 errors committed by the Phillies. That's 6 fewer than any team in baseball. 1 out, Jose Bautista. Charlie Manuel, the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, was singing the praises of Bautista before the game this afternoon. He said, I've watched him, and boy, has he developed into a great hitter.
Not just the power, but his plate discipline, his pitch recognition.
Drive toward the gap in left center. That ball's going to get down and go all the way to the wall and bounces out of play. That costs the Blue Jays a run.
And it will cost Jose Bautista an RBI. When the roof is open here and it's hot, the turf here gets very spongy and very springy. And that time the ball hit right off the turf and bounced over. I thought he hit it far enough that it was going to short hop the wall, but it barely got off the wall and out. Hill's got to go back to third base, and Bautista will have a ground rule double.
So now Adam Lind, the player of the month for the Blue Jays, will have a chance to put the Blue Jays out in front. Hill at third, Bautista at second. Inside. Lind hit .311 for the month of June. He was voted the player of the month by the media in Toronto. Sounded like that broke his bat. Ball just inside, and he bounces it into the seats.
Well, this is where he was dangerous in the month of June, picking up RBIs. You mentioned the good batting average of .311. How about the 9 home runs? But it was the RBIs hitting behind Jose Bautista that he came through with.
Lind was first in the voting. Ricky Romero was second. Ball and a strike, 1 out. Popped it up. Valdez at shortstop. Polanco calling for it, and Valdez makes the catch.
Two down now here in the first inning. Let's take a look at the scouting report for Kyle Kendrick. Fastball's got some action on us. Two-seamer really fades from lefties. Four-seamer, he can rush it in there in the low 90s. Left-handers get that changeup. He'll throw a lot of changeups to left-handed batters and finish hitters off with sliders and a cutter that he developed over the last couple of years. Doesn't really throw hard, but he pitches, moves the ball in and out.
Edwin Encarnacion, the DH. That's a base hit into center field. That is scored two. Victorino cuts it off. Encarnacion's headed for second. A crutch two-run double with 2 outs, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0.
Hitting with runners in scoring position. Blue Jays really haven't done a good job of that this season. But Edwin Encarnacion comes up big, picks on the first pitch he sees, and it's right in his wheelhouse, down and away. He likes to extend his arms and rips it into left field. He'll be credited with another double. As a couple of runners come across, Hill and Bautista, clutch 2-out hit for Encarnacion.
18th double of the season for the Blue Jays DH, Juan Rivera. Outside corner for a strike. Kendrick's had more trouble against right-handed hitters than he has lefties this year. Righties are hitting .273 against Kendrick as opposed to .234 for the lefties. That changeup is very effective to left-handed hitters.
And he'll throw it a lot of times to the lefties.
Ball is popped left field. Ben Francisco makes the catch. The Blue Jays are retired in the first, but they're taking a 2-0 lead. Edwin Encarnacion with a 2-out double. Out of AAA Las Vegas last night, Kyle Drabek, 6 innings, 6 hits, no walks. He was much better with his fastball, and don't worry about the 0 for 3 for Travis Snyder. He had some good at-bats last night.
Had some good at-bats. He was very aggressive after his injury, which was a good sign. Got a walk. Kyle Drabek, you mentioned the no walks, and we've talked about it over the last couple of days. They've reduced his amount of different pitches. He's now down to a 3-pitch mix, and it certainly worked for him last night in Las Vegas.
Defensively, there's a change already. Aaron Hill came on to pinch run for Yunel Escobar, who was hit by a pitch. John McDonald moves from second to short. Ricky Romero staked to a 2-0 lead. Switch hitter Shane Victorino. Victorino is hitting behind Ryan Howard, and that's been a challenge for the Phillies to have some protection for Howard in that 5th spot.
Victorino showing a little bit more power versus the left-handers. 5 of his 9 home runs versus the left-handers. They are looking for someone with a little bit more protection and for production hitting behind Ryan Howard. Usually it's Raul Ibanez. With the lefty on the mound today, he gets the day off.
Cabañas hitting just .220 against left-handed pitchers. They put the switch hitting Victorino in there. Victorino's got a .340 average against lefty pitching. Charlie Manuel's a little concerned about the offense. It's not the consistency he would like to see. Line drive past McDonald into left field. Victorino's aboard a leadoff single.
340 versus lefties. You got a nice short swing right here. The ball elevated again by Romero. Hoping that that was an atom ball right at somebody, but McDonald can't come up with it. Phillies are looking for a little bit more balance offensively. They're very left-handed, top-heavy. Charlie Manuel said he's loved to have another right-handed batter to balance it out a little bit more.
They had a pretty good right-handed bat last year in Jason Worth, but he was a free agent. The Phillies couldn't afford to keep him, so Worth is now playing in Washington. Romero's ahead of Francisco 0-2.
So Francisco will get the majority of the at-bats now. He's won a batting title when he was an A-ball playing for the Cleveland Indians. Doesn't have the power that you would like, but he's a good player at the plate hitting.
Ben Francisco was traded with Cliff Lee from Cleveland to Philadelphia for Carlos Carrasco, Jason Donald, Jason Knapp, and Lou Marson. A pretty good trade for the Indians as well. Of course, then Cliff Lee left and he came back. 1-2, nobody out. Hop down the right side, and that's going to drop in foul ground. Cliff Lee went from Philadelphia to Seattle, and then he was traded to the Texas Rangers. And last year with free agency, everybody assumed he was going to go back to the Rangers or to the New York Yankees. But he crossed everybody up. What a 1-2 combination. Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee. We'll see that Saturday and Sunday. And goes Victorino. The ball is shot to center field, and that'll go all the way to the wall. Victorino will jog around third as Ben Francisco delivers the double. Philadelphia cutting into that 2-0 deficit.
I told you Francisco can hit. He's got a short swing. He doesn't strike out a lot. And with 2 strikes just for trying to protect the plate. Curveball that is up. And he drills it to right field. They start the runner, so Victorino is going to score easily as the park holds this one. Stays in. Phillies will come right back at you.
Dominic Brown, the right fielder. It's the first pitch strike. Dominic Brown suffered that fractured hamate bone in spring training. Took him a while to get things going this year. Grounds this one to first. And a little underhand to Romero. Francisco moves to third on the out. A lot of Philly fans in attendance. They have made the trip north over this spectacular weekend, and you can hear when Ruiz was announced, a lot of the Philly fans hollering Chooch. That's his nickname, and they're certainly used to hearing that in Philadelphia. The infield will play it in. You mentioned Ruiz being overlooked, but boy, has he become one of the most reliable catchers in the big leagues.
Catch and throw. Calls a great game. It helps to have the type of pitchers that he gets to work with, but you're right. Any kind of offense will be a bonus. He was in there for his defense. Check swing here from Ruiz. Goes around. It looked like a cut from Rick Romero.
0-2. Carlos Ruiz now 32 years old. Done such a good job with this pitching staff. They've got so much confidence in what he does behind the plate. 1-2, 1 out. It's a piece of it and stays alive.
I have watched their games before when he is behind the plate. They get a runner to third base. They're not afraid to throw their breaking ball with him behind there. They know he's going to block it.
Ruiz has caught 2 no-hitters. Bouncing ball just foul. Ben Francisco, the RBI double. Moved to third on the ground out. Francisco now with 29 ribbies. It's a 2-1 ball game. Tapped right back to Romero. Part of being a front-line pitcher is the ability to field your position. Romero does it very well.
He's an athlete. He holds base runners. He fields his position well, and you have to be quick off the mound. Watch him get himself set and make the play or look the runner back to third base, and he saved himself a run right there just by being able to field at your position.
Two outs. Wilson Valdez, the shortstop. Valdez can run. The infielders will have to be on their toes. He leads the Phillies with 9 infield hits. Ball on the strike. He's also hit well with runners in scoring position, hitting .400 this year as a part-time player. 14 for 35.
That's the kind of production you need coming off your bench.
He did most of the playing when Chase Utley was on the disabled list. He started at second base 32 times till Utley returned. Ricky Romero trying to protect this 1-run lead. Ben Francisco with third with 2 outs. A 2-out walk will turn the lineup over.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
2 outs, back to the top of the order. Beautiful Canada Day here at Rogers Center. The sun shining brightly. Great atmosphere. Beautiful crowd on hand. Jimmy Rollins. He walked his first time up. Swings at the first pitch, and Rajay Davis has a beat on it. Ricky Romero won't get out of it. The Phillies score 1 but leave 2. Blue Jays lead 2-1. Middle of the second. chairs in the TD Comfort Zone. Here's the Sergeant Jameson Murray, a rifleman in the Queen's Own Rifles of Canada, a member of Canadian Forces, being honored here this afternoon. A great afternoon for Sergeant Jameson Murray. Welcome and enjoy a beautiful afternoon at Rogers Center. A lot of Canadian Forces men and women on hand here this afternoon, and great to have them here. And what a beautiful day to celebrate Canada Day. Catcher J.P. Arencibia hit his 12th home run in last night's game. There's that changeup that Arencibia was out in front of.
Well, the thing about J.P. Arencibia is he's getting through the ball better. This time Karstens tries to slip a fastball by him, and Arencibia is waiting for it. Drills it for home run number 12.
Utley had Arencibia shaded up the middle lane. Ryan Howard drops the ball. Well, we talk about what a great defensive team Philadelphia has. That's just the 35th error they've committed all season.
And their first error in 125 innings. You see Ryan Howard's got the sunglasses on. It's very, on day games here, it's very glary. And this ball really handcuffs him from Utley in. He's got to backhand it, and it hits him right on the heel of the glove. Howard will probably be charged with an error, his third.
He is indeed. He just got handcuffed. It's an easy play, easy throw, and just hit him on the heel of the glove. So the Blue Jays will take advantage of that. Arencibia is aboard. Rajay Davis. Davis was 0 for 3 last night. Had a pair of doubles on Wednesday night. Phillies played a day game at home yesterday. They lost to the Boston Red Sox, and John Lester got here last night early in the evening.
20 games over 500 this team is.
There's a strike with the fastball.
They have had their share of injuries, the Philadelphia Phillies. A little bit of every part of their team has been hit. They've lost a couple of closers already. They've lost a couple of starters to injuries. You mentioned the Utley injury to start the season.
Had their backup catcher on a DL. Brian Schneider was out. Roy Oswalt currently on the DL.
But through it all, they've had players that come to play every day.
Brad Lidge is still on the DL, trying to come back from a rotator cuff strain. J.C. Romero was injured, and then they let him go. A lot of changes. Jose Contreras, big part of their bullpen.
How about the Phillies working on their 4th closer already, and we're not even at the All-Star break?
Davis stays alive.
Lidge, you mentioned. Contreras. Ryan Matson then came in to close games for him. He's on the disabled list also.
Got hit on the right hand. He is out. So the bullpen largely made up of AAA pitchers that have started out in Lehigh Valley. They've all pitched there at one time. Canadian Ryan Scott Matheson is back in the big leagues with the Phillies. Ground ball, could be 2. Utley to second for 1. Still first in time. So immediately the Phillies erased the impact of that error by Ryan Howard to get the 4-6-3 double play.
And that's tough to do when you've got Rajay Davis running down that line. Only grounded into 2 double plays before this, but how quickly Utley, Valdez, and then Howard with 2 hands this time to corral it. Davis can really run, and he doesn't want to get into a double play. He wants to try and beat it out. But the second baseman shortstop combination was pretty to watch.
John McDonald. McDonald started at second. He has since been moved to shortstop. Yunel Escobar was hit by a pitch in the first and had to leave the game.
You know, I feel for Ryan Howard on days like today. If you're not used to this, it's very bright. And I don't know if glary is a word, but there's a lot of glare down on that field. You can see he's got the sunglasses on. that one that handcuffed him, I know what it's like. The ball just disappears halfway to first base. And he really stayed on that last one with two hands.
Well, you can see the artificial grass here really has a little sheen to it. Bright sunny day, very few clouds in the sky, and it's a tough challenge.
Tough to pick the ball up on the ground.
Bouncing ball fouled. But at the same time, that was a pretty routine catch, and he just got handcuffed. Well, the Phillies 35 errors now in first half of the season. This is their 83rd game. Pitching and defense, that'll put you in first place.
Yeah, you can figure out how you're going to score a run. But if you've got good starting pitching and you play good defense, you're going to win a lot of games.
That being said, the Phillies have won 51 games, and don't look now, but the Atlanta Braves are right on their heels. Braves just 4 games back. Braves have won 3 in a row, and they're healthy. Tommy Hanson back on the active roster.
You know, we talk about great pitching and tough divisions and great pitching that the American League East has. The NL East pitching staffs are pretty darn good too.
Of course, you know what you get with Halliday and Hamels and Cliff Lee.
Atlanta, Florida, before they went into their tailspin, had some decent pitchers.
Full count, 2 outs. McDonald stays alive. Josh Johnson, of course, had a lot to do with that. Then he got hurt, and there's no time frame for his return. But you see where the Braves are. They're just 4 games back. The Mets, boy, Jose Reyes has been some player for them. He had an historic month of June. He has them over 500. John McDonough, what an at-bat. Big turnaround first. He'll be stopped there by Victorino, but what an at-bat, keeping the at-bat alive. Comes up with a 2-out base hit.
Fouled off a couple of tough pitches from Kendrick to finally pick out one that he really likes and hits it hard. Pitch number 8 of the at-bat, right down the middle. Valdez, the shortstop, almost comes up with it. Right there, but it scoots into center field for a 2-out hit.
Aaron Hill came on as a pinch runner in the first. Came into the ball game replacing Yunel Escobar. A scheduled off day for Hill. He was just given a day off, as Pat mentioned. Blue Jays in a stretch of 17 straight games. Line drive left field. Ben Francisco is there. He'll hit it hard, but right at the left fielder. We've played 2 complete here on a gorgeous Canada Day at Rogers Center. Blue Jays lead it by 1. pitching, Ricky Romero and Roy Halladay, starting in this series, and we've taken their last 9 starts and compared them, and Ricky Romero's right there and even outpitched Roy in the ERA department.
I say if you're going to be compared against the best, go against the best. And we put their numbers together, and you're right, Ricky Romero has actually outpitched Roy Halladay over his last 9 starts. Better earned run average, better batting average against.
And the object, and Halliday set the standard, pitch late into the game and give your team a chance to win, and that's what Romero's done.
He has averaged pitching into the 8th inning in his last 9 starts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can ask for, right?
Unless you're Cliff Lee.
Well, he takes it one step further, right?
3 shutouts in a row. We'll try to make it 4 in a row here on Sunday afternoon. But Ricky Romero certainly stepped up his game, and now he has to be included when you talk about all the best pitchers in baseball. Any conversation should include Ricky Romero.
So if you're talking about the All-Star game this year, I think it's no question.
Strike 3 called. Ricky Romero strikes out Placido de Blanco.
In a good spot, too. This is the type of fastball that he has used over his last few starts, where he puts it right on the outside corner. Very rarely has he thrown a ball in the middle of the plate. It's been down or down and away or in, up and in. He has really used both sides of the plate very effectively.
Chase Utley popped up in foul ground his last time up. Ball on the strike. Utley, Philadelphia Phillies first-round pick in 2000, came out of UCLA. He was drafted by the Dodgers out of high school in the 2nd round. But improved his lot going to UCLA. Romero hits him with a breaking ball. Left that curveball inside, and Utley just turned his back on it, and he takes his base.
It's taken him a couple of innings to get the feel of the curveball, and it's still not there. Let's go that one a little bit too early and plunks Utley right in the back.
So Romero will work out of the stretch with 1 out. Ryan Howard, a cleanup batter. We mentioned Howard hasn't had a home run against left-handed pitching this year. His last home run against the lefty came last September against Andrew Miller when Miller was pitching for the Florida Marlins. A modified shift for Howard in this at-bat with Utley at first. Charlie Manuel was talking about Howard not getting many pitches to hit, but the fact was he was expanding, trying to chase and kind of force the issue at the plate.
Well, you'll always get a lot of strikeouts with Ryan Howard. With the power, you'll get the strikeouts.
Off Hill's glove, and there's nobody at third, and Hill. Bautista coming over. They were in that shift, and this is always something you have to think about. The Phillies know that firsthand, as Johnny Damon used that same play in the World Series when Damon was with the Yankees a couple of years ago. When you have that shift on, oftentimes third base will be unoccupied defensively.
And the pitcher has to be aware this was going to be Hill to Bautista to turn the double play. But Romero got over there once he realized the ball was kicked by Hill. Third base was wide open. Utley thinking about the same thing. Bautista would have been involved in his first double play as a shortstop.
It would have been a heck of a foot race. First and second. Victorino takes a strike. Aaron Hill is charged with an error on that play as the ball kicked off his glove. So Romero has hit a batter and the defense has committed an error. Two. This is what your ace does. Picks up the defense. Once in a while, you got to make some tough pitches after your defense allows base runners to reach.
That's what a good teammate does. You know, he doesn't stew out there and whine that an error was made behind it. He just goes about his business, gets a little bit tougher.
Line drive into center field. Chase Utley got a great break from second base, and he scores. Boy, Utley read that perfectly. Never hesitated a moment. It was a line drive into center, but he knew Davis was deep enough that he would be able to score on the Victorino single.
You know, there's so many things that a baseball player can do to help his team. It's not about hitting or fielding all the time. You are right. He read this ball off the bat of Victorino. He knew where the center fielder Davis was playing. And that ball one-hops Davis and no chance to get him at the plate. He is already coming around. He reads it, and he will score standing. You have to practice that every single day in batting practice. You get out there at second base, take a couple balls off the bat and read it, and it'll help you to get a good jump.
Good players aren't accidents, that's for sure, and Chase Utley timed that perfectly. 2-2 ball game, one out here in the third inning. Ben Francisco had an RBI double his first time up. Line scores identical. 2 runs, 3 hits, and an error for both ball clubs. Dominic Brown, the young right fielder, on deck.
Philly's able to cash in that error by Aaron Hill after the hit batter. Ryan Howard made an error last inning. The Blue Jays couldn't capitalize on that.
Francisco fouls it off. It's a 2-2 count. Romero's been great all throughout his career, getting ground balls and utilizing the double play. Got good sink on his fastball. His changeup's a very good pitch that sinks and dives away from right-handed hitters.
It's a lot like the changeup that Johan Santana used to throw when he was with the Minnesota Twins. Got the tumbling action where you hit the top of the ball.
Oh, strike 3. Backdoor curveball. It's Ben Francisco. He doesn't agree with Brian Honora. Big strikeout by Ricky Romero.
Well, we've got pitch tracks this afternoon, and that curveball just leaks right onto the outside corner. It is high enough, as you see, across home plate right at the knees, and it got plenty of the plate.
Ricky Romero now lefty on lefty as Dominic Brown will bat with 2 outs. Brown's only had 19 at-bats against left-handed pitching this year. We mentioned he suffered a fractured hamate bone in his hand in spring training.
One of the best prospects in all of baseball last year. Got a cup of coffee with the Phillies last season.
Dominic Brown was a 20th round pick. These are the guys that I'm impressed with. Anybody can pick a #1, but when you start getting your 20th round picks to the big leagues, you're doing a good job of scouting and developing.
And having them rated as one of the better prospects in all of the minor leagues. 2 years ago, he was in the top 5 best prospects in all of baseball. Zoomed right through their farm system.
Comes from a family of pretty good performers. His uncle, Mudcat Grant, pitched 14 years in the big leagues. Probably has some refinements to do still in the big leagues with his hitting. Awful lot of moving parts to his stroke just yet.
He's not a hands type of swing, like an Eric Thames type of swing. It's more of an arm swing, but he'll learn that.
They'll take the walk. The bases will be loaded with 2 outs. Ricky Romero has walked 3. He's also hit a batter. So the bases are loaded. Obviously, a pivotal point for John Farrell and the Blue Jays. Tough clutch hitter in Carlos Ruiz at the plate. 65 pitches already for Romero. First pitch, breaking ball. Bouncing ball to short. McDonald is second for the force out. Romero gets out of it. But the Phillies have tied it. Jose Bautista will bat second, bottom of the 3rd inning in this 2-2 game. Canada's Got Talent. It's a perfect time to tell you that Canada's Got Talent is coming to City TV. Auditions are going to happen right across Canada, so tell your friends. Canada's Got Talent. For more information, go to canadasgottalent.com. City TV with Canada's Got Talent. Eric Thames will start things off here in the 3rd inning. Interesting how the second time Thames has been with the Blue Jays, he's got more fastballs. The first time around, he was getting nothing but breaking balls and changeups.
And he was out in front, and I guess he became a good breaking ball hitter because he saw so many of them.
There's a ball driven into right that'll get down in front of Dominic Brown, and Thames is aboard.
But I agree, more fastballs this time around. Maybe it's the interleague portion. Fastball.
Maybe it's the fact that he's hitting second.
That has a lot to do with it. In front of Jose Bautista. That's a nice swing right there. He uncoils on it. Rips it in the right field for his first hit this afternoon.
He just looks like a ball player.
Yeah. He looks like a hitter. Looks like he knows what he's doing with that bat in his hand.
He certainly doesn't look overwhelmed. 2-2 ball game. Jose Bautista doubled and was robbed of an RBI when the ball bounced out of play for a ground rule double. Oh, by the way, this guy looks like a ball player too.
There are so many things that he does right on a baseball field, and you just watch him. even when he was playing third base now, he's always in the game. There's always something that he is trying to do to gain an advantage, win that situation. Torey Lovullo was telling me the other day, as a right fielder, one thing that he's learned from Jose this year is anytime the ball's hit to him, he was thinking about getting it out somehow.
Ground ball to short. Valdez to Utley. The first double play. Second double play. The Phillies have turned behind Kyle Kendrick this afternoon. This is a gorgeous day at Rogers Center. Beautiful, bright, sunny day, and it's great to see the seats full of Blue Jay fans. It's supposed to be a packed house all weekend long, so if you're not down here already, come on down.
Yeah, there was a lot happening outside the ballpark this morning. I mean, it was rocking and rolling out on Brimner.
Adam Lynn popped up his first time up.
This is what it's all about, isn't it? When you come to the ballpark on days like today.
Great atmosphere, a lot of energy in the building, and certainly has an impact on the players as well. Bouncing ball. Howard deep at first. Kyle Kendrick gives up a leadoff base hit, but has a quick inning. He played 3 innings on a spectacular day, Canada Day, here at Rogers Center. Jenkins is in the ballpark here this afternoon on Canada Day. He's just been acknowledged by the crowd here at Rogers Center. A 1991 Hall of Fame inductee, Canadian Hall of Fame in '87, the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame in 2004, the Order of Canada as well. And we'll be pleased to be joined by Fergie Jenkins next inning, as he is going to be kind enough to come in and visit with us here in the broadcast booth. Wilson Valdez walked his first time up. Leads things off here in the fourth. Bouncing ball. Bautista wide of third.
Jose doesn't look out of position at third base. He moves well. He took about 4 days, maybe 5, to get his legs underneath him to play third. It's much different than the outfield, just being involved a lot more on the infield.
And to his credit, he made the move, and he's not thrilled about it, but he understands the reason for it, and he's made the move.
The bending and the stooping that you do as an infielder compared to an outfielder is big. You feel it after a couple of days on the turf, and you get set, you're up and you're down, and all of a sudden after a couple of days you're like, why am I so sore?
Yeah, literally every pitch you have to prepare yourself in anticipation of the ball being hit to you. So you probably do 500, 600 squats during the course of a game. Up and down, up and down. Adam Lind had trouble when he had back problems in May because of the same move from DH to everyday player, bending, quite a bit different than when he was in the outfield. 3-1 to Jimmy Rollins. Bautista again keeps his feet moving, throws a strike.
And that's been the key for him at third base. You have to keep your feet moving. He played some infield earlier in his career, then went into the outfield after he came over here. But if you keep your feet moving and you keep your momentum going to the bag, you cut down the length of the throw. Brooks Robinson used to do that so well at third base. He'd catch the ball and he'd take 3 or 4 crow hops, and the next thing you know, he's about 20 feet closer to the bag.
Placido Polanco goes after the first pitch and lifts it toward foul territory. Hits on the warning track. Brian Butterfield, the infield instructor for the Blue Jays and third base coach, says the best in the game this era is Alex Rodriguez. His ability to move toward the target with his legs and just drive through the throw allows him to make consistent throws from third. Johnny McDonald. 3 ground ball outs for Rivera. A quick 4th inning. It's Canada Day and big crowd here on hand, and one person that we all miss is our stats man, Scott Carson. In my mind, the best stats man in baseball, and unfortunately right now he's on the DL. But Scotty, I want to know you're missed, and we look forward to having you back real soon.
Miss you, Scotty. Wish you were up here. The reactionary comic. We miss your humor, buddy.
You get it!
And I know you'd love to be in this atmosphere. Tie ball game, 2-2. Edwin Encarnacion with the big bat. Drove in 2 runs in the first inning, a 2-out double. Good changeup from Kendrick.
That's the thing that Kendrick has. He's got that good movement on his fastball. It fades in on the right-handers, away from the left-handers. Right now, Edwin Encarnacion is locked and loaded. He seems to be on every single pitch.
Up the end of the bat. Had a lot of good swings lately, and when we have seen Edwin in the past, when he gets hot, he stays hot. He had a 2-homer game here on Tuesday night and just missed a 3rd home run in that game when he flied out to deep center. Big swing and a miss. Encarnacion strikes out.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
The Honda Indy car outside Rogers Center on the street as part of the celebration. It started around 10 a.m. this morning. Juan Rivera. Bouncing ball foul. One thing the Philly pitchers do, and it's kind of universal with all the starters, they work quickly. And Roy Halliday established that when he first joined the ball club, that he always has worked quickly. And everybody picks up on it. Cliff Lee's done that his whole career as well.
Some of the best in the business, the Phillies, and it really says something about their demeanor on the mound and their body language when they are working quickly. Also gives the fielders that air of confidence too.
And that's why they committed so few errors. You know it's going to be put in play. You're never standing around wondering how many balls he's going to throw. You have to anticipate each pitch is going to be put into play. That hit to Rivera, second batter that Kendrick has hit. And now going to come out and have a look at him as well. George Poulos has been a busy guy lately. J. Pierre and Seavey got hit on the elbow the other night. And now they're going to take a look at Rivera's elbow, it appears.
Told you about the movement that he has, that Kendrick has on his pitches. That one moving on the inner half. Got him on the elbow, but he'll be fine. From up top, you see he's got that elbow pad on his front elbow. That one hit him on the back elbow.
Torey Lovullo with some instructions with one out. Just a reminder, ball in the gap. Got to think at least third base. Possibly think about scoring. J. Pierre and Seavey reached on an error. Cued it off the end of the bat. That's going to have a lot of spin on it. Howard shuffles to Kendrick to get Aaron Seavey. Rivera moves to scoring position on the ground out.
That one was right off the end of the bat. And it's got a lot of English on it, spinning. And as a first baseman, you've got to make sure that you just catch the ball. You see Ryan Howard get all over that one, just smother it, make sure he catches it. Didn't even think about going to second base. That's when funny things start happening. You try and make something happen that's not really there. He did the right thing, just get it out over at first.
Rajay Davis hit into a double play in the second. Ball center field. Victorino's got plenty of room. He gets there, and Davis is retired. The Blue Jays go quietly in the fourth. It's a 2-2 game after 4. Now it's time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie and Greg from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio, decked out for Canada Day. and Fergie Jenkins is in the Hall of Fame, and the Baseball Hall of Fame, the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. And Fergie Jenkins, it's a pleasure to have you here. It must be a special feeling for you to be here in Toronto on Canada Day.
Well, I like to get home from time to time, and I have 3 daughters that still live here in the area. 2 in Chatham, and my daughter lives in Hamilton too. So I mean, it's always good to come home.
Been a special year for you, Fergie. In February, Black History Month, you were honored with a stamp issued by Canada Post. That had to be a great thrill.
Well, a commemorative stamp and having a chance to tour the country. I was saying earlier, 46 cities in 28 days. I sign my name a lot, believe me.
It's a big country.
Yeah, you're right, it is. From the East Coast to the West Coast.
Well, I know that there have been so many honors, but the ability to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame and the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame must be a special one. And I know you have some strong feelings about some of the Canadian baseball players that should be considered for that same honor.
Oh, yes, Larry Walker for sure. I mean, he's got great numbers. This past election, he didn't get the votes I think he really deserved. But, hey, you're allowed to be on that ballot for 15 years. I think within a few more years, he's going to get a lot more ballots.
What brings you to Toronto? You had a foundation golf tournament and they won a suite or something here?
Well, yeah, the people that were the opportunity to win the suite bid on it, and 20 people had an opportunity to come. The individual that won it basically brought his friends with him. So, you know, he bid on it, won the suite, brought his friends, and I said I was going to be here at the time for Canada Day, and I joined him for the ball game, which was really a lot of fun.
That's great.
Fergie, I know you pay a lot of attention to baseball now, and you've seen Roy Halliday both with the Blue Jays and now with the Phillies. I see a lot of similarities in the way Roy pitches to the way you pitched as far as challenging the hitters. Is that something you set out to do early in your career?
Well, I think when I first started out in the Philly organization in the minor leagues, that was the thing to challenge the hitters. Go right at them, throw strikes, stay positive. I worked the count up and down, in and out, and changing speeds. And Cal McClish was one of my first pitching coaches, along with Al Widmar. And I tell people all the time, those are the 2 people that got me to the big leagues.
Isn't that interesting? We were talking about Cal McClish the other day. I had him in Milwaukee with the Brewers, and of course Al Widmar was my pitching coach here when I was a player here. So I understand where you're coming from. The Philadelphia Phillies have had a remarkable history at that time when you were playing. We had terrific players up and down the organization, including Dick Allen that came up. Was a
great hitter.
He was Richie at that time.
Yeah, Richie Allen. We played together, first of all, in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, when I was a rookie, and then again in Little Rock in '63. So, I mean, Dick had the great numbers. If he'd have stuck around 1 or 2 more years, Hall of Fame qualifications.
Hall of Fame talent for sure. You mentioned those pitching coaches, and they got you to the big leagues. What exactly did they help you?
Well, I went to Winter Ball 2 years in Puerto Rico with Cal McClish. He took Rick Wise, Alex Johnson, Grant Jackson, and Pat Corrales, 5 prospects. And we worked on off-speed pitches, control, getting ahead of the hitter, and just trying to dominate when you were out there. And I think it really helped Rick Wise and Grant and myself.
Players don't play winter ball like they used to.
Well, they think it's
Young
a vacation. Yeah, they think it's a vacation. Go to Venezuela, go to Puerto Rico, go to Mexico. I went down there to learn something. I learned a great off-speed pitch and a sinker, and I think it really helped me.
You used to cut the ball.
Definitely. Right. That was basically it was my slider.
Yeah.
You know, and it only broke 6, 8, 7 inches, but it was a hard breaking pitch.
We've had this discussion before in Columbus, Ohio, because I was asking you about it. Was that a slider or a cutter? And you said, I was the first guy to throw a cutter.
I was probably the first guy to throw the cutter. Jim Bunning had a real good grip. He showed me in spring training, and I started cutting the ball, and I started getting really good results.
I guess so. 20 wins were...
Well, it was something to really get ahead of the hitter and have that positive motion and the follow through. That they all thought it was a fastball, but it was a running fastball. And I said, hey, that's a cutter. Believe me, all I hit was the top half of the ball. I got a lot of ground balls. Played in Connie Mack Stadium or Wrigley Field. That's what you wanted, was ground balls.
Tell us about how the stamp came about, and did you have an impact on as far as the design of that stamp?
About 6 years ago, we asked the Canadian government if we were going to be allowed to put on a stamp. So they put a few other people on it before me, and then we basically came up with a photograph The photograph was by John Odie, and it was the Walk of Fame photograph that was here in Toronto. And then they decided to put, a baseball picture. So they had the Cy Young motion of me throwing in 1971, and then the Order of Canada. And they put the stamp together, and I said, well, yeah, I approve that. That's pretty good. And I said, because in the United States, you have to be dead 5 years before they put you on a stamp. And I said, I'm pretty lucky I'm alive.
And the stolen base as Utley takes off. Once again, we talk about the Phillies and how they are so good keeping their percentage up. Utley is a perfect 6 for 6 now in steals of second. Fergie, I go back to your Cub days and think about the great players. And, of course, we just lost Ron Santo. You had Ernie Banks, Billy Williams. What a core of players. Talk about how that core of players really established the identity of that great Cub era.
Well, when I joined the team in 66, Ernie, Billy, and Ronnie were the veterans on the ball club. They got Kessinger from the minor leagues, Kenny Holtzman. They made a trade for Glenn Beckert and Randy Hundley and Bill Hance from the Giants. And we kind of matured together. Tabby was in the organization, so the biggest thing is we brought young players
Not
in.
at that time.
No, you're right.
A couple years
later.
later.
Yeah, a little later. But we brought those players in the 60s, and by 67, 68, we started winning. We lost 103 ball games my first year in the big leagues. That wasn't a lot of fun.
But don't you think that helped you grow into a winning team because you guys suffered those losses
Well, we
together?
had a great manager, Leo DeRocher. We had as many games, as many meetings as we played. We had meetings before the game, meetings after the game. And DeRocher was the kind of guy, he just wouldn't let you sit on your laurels, let you just be comfortable. You got to work hard. You got to keep working. You got to get to the point where you know you can win. And that's what we're in a good division with the Cardinals, Mets, Cincinnati. I mean, there was only 2 divisions there. So we had to play hard.
In 1969, I know people have asked that about you for years. Tell us about that season. You guys thought you were the best team in the division.
We started off the season in first place. We stayed there 5 months in first place. And then we got caught by the Mets. The Cardinals beat us. Pittsburgh beat us. We just couldn't muster the winning homestands or the winning road trips, which were combined 3 and 4 games on the road to try to turn the tide. And unfortunately, we had like 18 games left. I think we won 4. And the Mets won all of those.
Double play ends the inning. Fergie Jenkins, great to see him.
Pleasure.
Always the best. Congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Pleasure.
And now it's time for a Hockey Central update on this free agent Canada Day. Here's Darren Millard to bring you up to date. Starting this slick double play.
Watch how quickly the transfer from the glove and over to Hill, who stays right in there on that aggressive slide. Johnny Mack does this every single time he gets a chance to play. He does something spectacular in the field, starting a 6-4-3 double play. Hill stays right in as Victorino comes after him, but completes the double play, helping the starting pitcher.
And John McDonald practices at game speed. That's why he can come off the bench and make those great defensive plays. McDonald went on the disabled list. He had a strained hamstring. It took him a while to get back, but he's healthy and ready to go again. Kendricks had a good changeup all afternoon.
He really looks like the bottom drops out of that changeup. It's the type of thing where you see it coming in about thigh high, you better lay off of it because it will fall out of the strike zone.
Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. We've talked about what a good catcher he is, but to me, this is the prototypical size of a catcher that you want. He is short, compact, quick, moves around very well behind the plate. And Philly pitchers love to throw to him.
Looks a lot like Pudge Rodriguez when he was younger with the Texas Rangers.
John McDonald, Valdez behind second. Strong arm in time. Valdez got a lot of playing time early in the season at second base with the injury to Chase Utley, and now he gives Jimmy Rollins a day off here this afternoon.
And we will probably see him playing at multiple positions in this series to give the regular players that day off where they can DH. Chase Utley maybe tomorrow afternoon.
Aaron Hill started on the bench this afternoon, came into the game as a pinch runner.
These are the kind of days where you aren't scheduled to start and then you're thrown in because of an injury. Your mind is clear. You end up having good days. Hit the ball hard his last time up, flew out to left field on a line.
Yeah, sometimes it's better. You're just sitting around thinking, oh, okay, I got a day off. I'm not going to think about anything. And you go into the game without worrying about who you're facing and just look for the baseball.
Yeah, just clear your mind. And a lot of times, Aaron, he's his own worst enemy at times because he wants it so bad. He wants it so hard that he grinds just a little bit too hard. Perfect day for him just to relax and get out there and take some good swings.
Plays off that pitch downstairs. 2-2. Fifth inning. Kind of a pitcher's duel developing here. Blue Jays jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first. Phillies answered back with a single run in the second, one again in the third. Right back up the middle, base hit.
You couldn't roll it right back through the middle any better than that by Aaron Hill. Went right over the mound, right through the legs, and right over second base.
And you know, Aaron Hill's thinking, wow, just stay in a big part of the diamond. And meanwhile, Adam Lynn's sitting on the dugouts going, I hit one like that last night and hit Jeff Carson's in the leg.
And it was an 0 for 1.
You just never know how that ball's going to bounce. Eric Thames, 1 for 2 so far.
Eric Thames. This pitch on the inner half, down and in, and he golfs it into the third deck in right field. No doubt about it. Home run number 2.
His first Canada Day game will be a lasting memory. Dwayne Murphy really has high expectations for Eric Thames. That's a long home run.
That's going to get the fans fired up. He's already hit 2 right-handed batters. And now Toronto's favorite player gets knocked down.
That's going to get Jose Bautista fired up.
They wanted the ball away, and it leaks back under the chin of Bautista. He might come out of his shoes now on his next swing. See the catcher on the outside part of the plate, and it goes right underneath the chin.
3-0. From a 3-0 breaking ball. Bautista was taken all the way. Crowd has been energized here at Rogers Center. Eric Thames has given the Blue Jays a 2-run lead with his second big league home run. Rich Doobie, the pitching coach out of the Phillies dugout.
A lot of energy in the building this afternoon. They're talking about a sellout this afternoon. The Phillies are in town. First place team. You know, the Blue Jays want to show them that they belong with the big boys.
While we've got a minute, and it is Canada Day here, we'd like to take a moment to say hello to a longtime Roy Halliday fan out there. Bert Fountain, 93 years old, a great Blue Jay fan from Oakville, Ontario. Always been a big, huge supporter of Roy Halliday. Bert, we know you're watching and hope you're enjoying the ball game. And we know you'll be watching tomorrow. Adam Lind with Bautista at first. Outside corner. Blue Jays have now homered in 9 straight games. That'll get you back from any deficit.
That happened the other day to the Blue Jays. They fell behind the Pirates 6-1. And they used the home run ball to come back in that one. Almost came all the way back.
Tuesday night, they hit 4 home runs in that game. They lost 7-6. Back-to-back home runs in the 7th inning to make it a 1-run game. And then drives it to center. Victorino gets there and makes the catch. Lynn's been on everything the last week. Every time he swings it, it's a line drive at somebody.
Somewhere, but Victorino is an excellent center fielder. He read that ball. Remember, that ball was going to be slicing away from him. And he got a good jump on that one to record the second out. Gold Glover.
And seeing directing Ben Francisco, his left fielder. The DH, Edwin Encarnacion. Bautista just about a foot off first when Kendrick throws over. Eric Thames, his second big league homer. Pop foul.
Well, we talked about him in a good spot in the batting order. Eric Thames is going to get some fastballs, and that's what it looks like he got. 88 down and in, and that's his power zone right there. Just dropped the head of the bat on that ball, and Lind is telling him where that ball ended up hitting.
Yeah, hitters always like to tell other hitters, hey, you hit it way up there. 0-2, 2 outs. There goes Bautista. Foul out of play. Great to see the full house. We expect to see big crowds all weekend long. Roy Halliday will pitch tomorrow. Cliff Lee on Sunday. See some of baseball's best pitching right here at Rogers Center all weekend long. Home run hit just up on that David Roberts sign above the second deck. Just between Paul Beeston and Pat Phillip.
That's right. How appropriate. Huh? Well, there's no doubt about that one. Just to the right of that red sign and just above it. Look at the distance that that one carried. Shows you the type of pop that he has in that bat.
Exciting young player.
Well, we saw that the other night when he drove a ball the other way out of the ballpark for his first big league home run.
Came off the left-handed Palmahan. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There goes Bautista. Another foul back. You start to run in a situation like this, and if Encarnacion can hit one in the gap, Jose can score from first.
Just give him a little bit of a extra head start. You're gambling that he's going to throw a breaking ball also. Give yourself a chance to possibly steal a base.
Kendrick's very good at shutting down the running game. He's only had 1 base stolen against him this year. Strike 3 call. Encarnacion didn't like the call. Brian Honora rings him up. The Blue Jays are down in the 5th. But Eric Thames goes down and gulps a low fastball out of the ballpark. High up against the wall in the 3rd deck. Number 2. It's a 2-run lead for the Blue Jays. That'll be a Hockey Central Free Agent Special. Darren Millard will host the show as they bring you up to speed on everything that's happening on this free agent signing day. Brad Richards of Dallas Star still out there as a free agent, and he'll have all the signings and all the rumors around the hockey free agent signing period right after this baseball game. Ricky Romero with another 2-run lead. Throws a first pitch strike to Dominic Brown. It's a perfect example of who Ricky Romero has become over the last couple of years. He hasn't had great stuff all day long, and he hasn't had good command. But here he is in the 6th inning with a 2-run lead.
Well, he's going to have to battle as Brown slices that ball down the left field line. It'll go for extra bases. He's going to have to battle him because the first couple of innings were rough on him. His pitch count has gotten up. Maybe John Farrell let him go a little bit longer, but pitches have been up all afternoon. Something we didn't see his last time out against the Cardinals. Everything was down and working down. His 7 innings of work is in jeopardy. That's why I'm thinking that maybe John Farrell let him go a little bit longer.
Ricky Romero has pitched at least 7 innings in 9 straight games. But he's not going to worry about that streak. If he sees Ricky Romero laboring at all, he'll make sure that he goes to the pen. But Romero hasn't really physically labored. He's just battled his command. But Farrell has been very complimentary about Romero being one of those upper echelon pitchers. And this is an example. He doesn't have all of his pitches working today, but here he is pitching in the 6th with a 2-run lead.
He competes. He just tries to figure out a way to beat the opponent that day. And every day is different. I mean, this is a different type of pitcher than what we saw 5 days ago in St. Louis, where everything was working for him. Now he's got to grind it.
Ruiz shoots one down the right field line. Well, you make 33 starts during the regular season. You might have everything together 5 or 6 times during the course of a summer. And when you don't have 1 or 2 pitches working, you have to improvise.
You got to figure out a different way how to get him out. Right now he knows that Ruiz is trying to punch the ball the other way to get that runner over.
There goes Brown. Ball's down and throw to third base. Bautista couldn't hang on to it. Brown steals it. Dominic with his 3rd steal.
Only been thrown out 1 time this year. It's about 6'6". He's got those long strides. And he steals it easily. Ball comes out of the glove of Bautista.
Looked like he might have tagged him, and when he tagged him, the ball popped out of his glove. 2-2, ground ball, base it into right field. Brown comes in to score. Ruiz picks up the RBI. Phillies answer right back.
Day games, the ball really shoots through the infield. Another curveball that is up the top of the strike zone and shoots it right through the right side.
The Phillies have been great during the day. They have an 18-7 record. That's the best record in the National League. Only the Yankees and the Red Sox have a better day record than the Phillies. Yankees are 23-4 during days.
I thought they were a veteran team that was getting old. Couldn't play day games after night games.
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't. Obviously, 23 out of 27. They've won.
Boston 19-7. And then the Philadelphia Phillies at 18-7. Bunting popped over the screen out of play. Ricky Romero had problems early in the ball game with his control. That elevated his pitch count. He's up to 100 pitches here with 1 out, nobody out in the 6th. Bouncing ball to short. McDonald quickly to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. Ricky Romero with his 2nd career start on Canada Day. 2 years ago, he started here at Rogers Center against Tampa Bay and had a strong outing.
Yeah, he certainly did against the Rays, who were coming off their first World Series team that year. 8 innings, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts. You can see the great changeup that he had that afternoon working. Also had the good curveball. This afternoon, just a little bit different. He has really struggled to get through those 6 innings, but the bottom line is winning the ball game, and he's leading it right now in the 6th.
Romero 7-7 for the season. Coming into this game, he had the 6th best ERA in the American League. There goes Valdez. Ball's hit on the ground. Bautista has to go to first. Rollins is retired. Valdez moves to second. Beautiful Canada Day crowd here. 45,512 on hand. Friday afternoon game. 2 more great games over the weekend. Roy Halliday starts tomorrow for the Phillies. Cliff Lee will start on Sunday afternoon. A great weekend of afternoon baseball on a spectacular Canada Day weekend.
Carlos Villanueva will take the mound tomorrow for the Blue Jays. He had his start pushed back a couple of days. He's only 5-1. So some good pitching this weekend.
Eric Thames in right. Polanco's retired. The Phillies cut into the Blue Jays lead, but Ricky Romero finishes off the 6 up by 1. Look at the Canadian baseball players who are performing so well. Joey Votto is 4th in the National League and hitting at .319. He's also driven in 50 runs. Russell Martin's having a great first season with the Yankees.
And he's leading the All-Star balloting, I believe. At least he was a couple of days ago when I checked for the All-Star catchers. So we should see him in Phoenix. And John Axford, 20 saves for the Milwaukee Brewers. Got to be in consideration for an All-Star berth with 20 saves so far in the first half.
Brian Wilson of the Giants leads the National League with 24. Juan Rivera. 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch back in the 4th inning. Kendrick has gone 7 innings this year. That came in his last start, June 15th, against the Florida Marlins. He went 7 innings, allowed just 5 hits, picked up the win in that 8-1 win for Philadelphia.
And that moved him back into the bullpen. And then when Roy Oswalt had to come out of his last start on the 23rd, it was Kyle Kendrick who came out of the bullpen to pitch in that game, and he's just filled in his spot.
Joe Blanton is back on the disabled list along with Oswalt, so the Phillies need to have an extra starter. There's a strike. It's 3-1. They have 5 prominent pitchers on their disabled list right now. Contreras, Blanton, Oswalt, Ryan, Madsen and Brad Lidge. That's Cole Hamels, who was hit on his right hand last time out, and Charlie Manuel, the manager, expects him to make his next start. He was taken out of the game.
You can see his right wrist is wrapped right there. That's where he got hit. That's his glove hand. It didn't catch any of the glove. Caught him right in the meat part of his lower hand. Should not miss a start, which is good news.
Rivera hanging tough. He fouls off another pitch. Hamels is 9-4. Doesn't even get any attention. 9-4 with a 2.41 ERA. League's hitting .210 against Cole Hamels, and he barely gets a mention.
And all you hear about is Halliday and Cliff Lee. We've talked about him. What a gamer he is.
Ground ball to short. Valdez rights himself. Rivera's retired.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
We talked about the bullpen for Philadelphia. Scott Matheson from Vancouver, part of that great tradition of the Langley Blaze. His father ran that program for a long time. That's where Brett Glory played his amateur ball.
Drafted in the 2002 draft. Now in his second season with the Phillies.
J.P. and Sebia in a hole 0-2. Canada Day, a lot of fans here honoring the birth of Canada. Beautiful, gorgeous day. Roof wide open. A lot of fans down here by the lake. Strike three call. That comeback two-seamer caught the outside corner. Just the third strikeout of the afternoon for Kyle Kendrick.
Second one looking. This is the action that we were talking about in the scouting report that he's got with his fastball. Comes back. J.P. Arencibia gives up on it, but just clips the outside corner.
Rajay Davis bunts it, but back over the screen. Christophe Polanco back at third base, thought he'd take a shot and popped it up. Now Polanco will move even with the bag at third. Blue Jays lead it 4-3. Bottom of the sixth. Breaking ball. Davis strikes out. He's tagged out by Ruiz. Kyle Kendrick gets out of the sixth. It's a one-run ball game. We played 6 complete here at Rogers Center. 5 more games tonight. The Cardinals at Tampa Bay, 7 Eastern time on Sportsnet East. The Yankees at the Mets, a big New York rivalry, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Sportsnet Ontario. Giants at Tigers, Sportsnet West, 7 Eastern time, 4 Pacific. Red Sox at Houston on Sportsnet 1 at 8 Eastern time. And then the Padres at the Seattle Mariners, 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific time on Sportsnet Pacific. A lot of baseball all across the channel.
Yankees here in Ontario, so I know what I'll be doing tonight. I'll be plugged in front of the TV to watch them. CC Sabathia last night, 13 punch outs for the Yankees.
Chase Utley and a hit and a stolen base his last time up. Utley was hit by a Ricky Romero curveball back in the 3rd inning, came around to score. Fly ball, center field. Plenty of room for Rajai Davis. So Ryan Howard will step to the plate. Howard has been on base once. He reached on an error. He's 0 for 3. The dramatic shift used for Howard.
And they keep moving over. Jose Bautista now almost right behind Ricky Romero. Generally speaking, left-handed batters don't pull left-handed pitchers because they like to stay on the ball a little bit more and they stay in the middle of the field. There's Jose right behind Romero. He's the 3rd baseman.
It's interesting, we have seen a similar shift with David Ortiz of the Boston Red Sox, and just like Ortiz, they play the outfield to the opposite part of the field, the infield dramatically to the pull side.
Anything on the ground, the charts say he pulls it.
Right under the glove of John McDonald. He was perfectly positioned and the ball stayed down.
Second time this afternoon that Ryan Howard hits right into the shift, but he's going to be on first base. First time was an error by Hill, and this time a base hit.
Now John McDonald tried to backhand it. It just stayed under his glove, and it's a base hit with 1 out here in the 6th. And Ricky Romero's streak of 9 straight games of 7 innings or more will come to an end. But he leaves with the lead. He'll turn things over to the bullpen. Has taken over sole possession of second on the Blue Jays all-time appearance list. He trails only Dwayne Ward. He was tied with Tom Henke ahead of Dave Steve and Paul Quantrill, and Jason Frazier's had quite a run here with the Blue Jays.
Now, in his 8th year with the Toronto Blue Jays, probably pitching his best ball since he has been here. He has had 17 saves with the Jays, got into 69 games last year, which was a career high, and now John Farrell using him in more attractive situations now as the season goes along. Big situation here as Frazier comes in. Just 6 away now for the most appearances in Blue Jays history.
Ricky Romero, for the first time in 10 games, will leave before the 7th. 6 1/3. He is still in line for the win. Shane Victorino will bat for the first time from the left side. First pitch strike, and that's been a very good formula for Jason Frazier.
He'll use his fastball and he'll use his changeup, especially early in the count. He'll show you his slider that he has that he'll use against right-hander, but that's not his strikeout pitch. Good hard fastball, good placement of a fastball, and his changeup are his main weapons that he takes out there.
Inside, a ball on the strike. Phillies are 7-5 in interleague play here at Rogers Center. They are 16-17 against the Blue Jays throughout interleague play.
Victorino showing you the skills that he has as a leadoff batter. He would hit leadoff for first or second in the Phillies lineup. When he first came up, he's got great speed. He'll see a lot of pitches. Switch hitter. John Farrell electing to move him over to that left-handed batter's box.
Drives this ball, and that's going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. Ryan Howard just around second. Rajai Davis plays it off the wall. Howard's coming around to score. And the Phillies have tied it at 4-all. Shane Victorino, his second RBI of the afternoon, a triple to the wall in center.
And he works the count to get into a hitter's count where he can hit a fastball. And that's what he gets. 2-1 fastball down the middle, about belt high, and he splits it into the gap. Now the Blue Jays lost a run earlier this game when a ball bounced over the wall. This time it stays in and then runs back into center field. That allows Howard to score all the way from first base and Victorino to go into third with his 9th triple of the season.
Victorino with great speed, as you mentioned, 9 triples. You'd think that probably leads the league, but that's not the case because there's a fellow named Jose Reyes. 15 triples for Reyes, leads the National League. Infield drawn in. Ben Francisco has an RBI double.
We'll see how they play it now with 1 out. Runner at third base. Great speed again if they use the contact play. Try and steal a run here with the infielding.
Looked like he was coming. He had that move toward the plate on the swing and the foul back.
And Bautista's doing a good job as the third baseman to, as Frazier is coming set, just deking him back to the bag. You watch him land on his right foot, and as soon as he sees that batter swing, he's coming.
Pretty good indicator to the infielders to be aware that Victorino looks like he's going to go on contact.
As an infielder, if you know that that guy is going home, the first thing you have to do is you got to catch the ball first. A lot of times you're banking on that infielder to look up a little bit too quickly. Catch it first and then make the play.
Ricky Romero will be saddled with another no decision here this afternoon. 6 1/3, 7 hits. He gave up 3 earned runs and threw over 100 pitches.
Pitch count went way up in the second and the third inning. Got a little bit better as the game went along. And all told, no decision.
Fly ball left field. Rivera. Victorino tagging the throw. Offline and late. The Phillies have taken the lead. Ken Francisco with the sac fly, his second RBI.
You know, and there is no substitution for speed. It can do so much for you when you're on the bases. We saw Victorino trying to score a run on the contact play, and he was leaning towards home when this ball is hit by Francisco. Watch him lean, but now he gets back, and Rivera gets in a good spot. His momentum is coming home, but that good speed just outruns the baseball. Victorino once again, there's the speed right there. Gets himself into position, tags, throws off the line just a little bit, but it was a good ball to throw on. His momentum was coming towards home, but Victorino's speed got him that road.
Victorino and Francisco, they've scored 2 runs and driven in 4 between them. Dominic Brown, doubled and scored in the 6th. Phillies have taken a 5-4 lead here, top of the 7th inning. Fastball strike. Another good fastball.
He has pitched well against the left-handers this year with that combination of a good fastball. You might see him try to expand the strike zone now with a split change to get Brown.
John McDonald on the run in time, and the Phillies are done in the 7th, but they had a couple of runs. They've taken the lead. Ricky Romero will end up with another no decision. tickets. The next Saturday will be tomorrow when the Jays play the Phillies in Game 2 of this 3-game series. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. Kids 14 and under receive 50% off tickets to all Saturday home games. 200 outfield and 500 level seats only. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. A great way to spend your Saturday here with the Blue Jays and the Phillies. Roy Halliday will start against Crosby and the waiver. Blue Jays down by a run. Tom McDonald takes the first pitch strike. Kyle Kendrick has retired the last 5 batters he's faced. The Phillies have action in their bullpen. Popped up on the infield. One down. Aaron Hill will bat with one out. He lined out and singled his 2 at-bats. Off the glove of Utley into right field. Hill has his second hit. Just exactly what you were talking about. He's had 3 good at-bats when he didn't expect to play.
Yeah, wasn't in the original lineup. Comes in, frees up his mind. His first time up, key to left field that was caught, then single to center, and now right on another pitch from Kyle Kendrick. Utley is there, but it's just off the end of his glove. Multi-hit game for Aaron Hill. And now with the power coming up, that's important for a runner to be on base.
Eric Thames 2 for 3 with a home run. Looks at an outside fastball. Thames' home run extended the consecutive game streak with a home run to 9. Talk about Thames with his bat, and he uses a fairly substantial bat. A lot of guys use a much lighter bat, but Thames is strong enough to swing a pretty good club.
Picked the thing up the other day, and it's rock hard, first of all. Rock hard, and it's 34 inches, 33 ounces. But it's got good weight, good measurement, and when he connects, the ball can really jump.
Good setup at the plate, and he is always ready to hit the fastball. He had a pretty good statement the other night when he hit the fastball off Mahalam. He said they'd gotten me out the previous night with fastballs, so I was looking for a fastball.
And he got it. He knew what to do with it. He's got a drill that he does down in the cage where he swings with one hand, his top hand, and you always see him working that bat with his top hand, just to make sure that that barrel can get through the strike zone. He's got very quick hands.
Chases that fastball up and away, and that's been a pitch that he has had to deal with this last week. That high fastball away.
And he'll learn that pitchers will try and go there to him with 2 strikes. And he'll learn to stay off of this one. It's out of the strike zone. And once he learns the league a little bit more and his strengths and weaknesses, he'll lay off of that one and live for another pitch.
Jose Bautista, 1 for 2 this afternoon. Jose Bautista, home run.
Jose Bautista to the ground. You don't think he put that one in his memory banks? And the reaction tells it all. He knew he got home run number 25 on a line drive to left field. And the Aaron Hill base hit set this one up.
Here's the last at bat. The pitch up and in. He dives out of the way.
Sweet revenge. We saw that last year with Ivan Nova of the New York Yankees buzzing a fastball by Bautista, and he got him back later in the game with a home run.
Bouncing ball to first. Howard has it. Lind is retired. The Blue Jays are finally done, but Jose Bautista wasn't done. A two-run home run off Kyle Kendrick. His 25th of the season. No doubt about it. Blue Jays lead by 1. Since Tuesday night against the Pittsburgh Pirates, he'll come on trying to protect this one-run lead.
A clean inning against the Pirates, 1 inning, 1 strikeout. He also has 7 saves this year. He'll throw the ball, and he will challenge you. So he is on now looking for a hole.
Now it's time for the play of the game, brought to you by Rogers. Hello, Speed Boost. Goodbye, waiting. Another first only from Rogers.
Who else but Jose Bautista? We showed you that he was knocked down the time before when he was at the plate, thought about ending up walking, and now first pitch hitting as he is all over that pitch from Kendrick, and he doesn't miss him. Home run number 25 for Bautista puts the Blue Jays in the lead here.
Bautista now tied with Mark Teixeira for the Major League lead with 25 home runs. 8-9-1 for the Phillies here in the 8th. They'll get back into the seats. Phillies have had a tough time scoring runs of late. 5 runs is a big breakout for them, and with the pitching they have received in the month of June, generally that puts them in a good spot to win. 5 runs today, they find themselves behind.
Talk about the pitching that they have gotten in the month of June. It's historic type of pitching from top to bottom by the Phillies. You don't need to score a lot of runs with the way they've been pitching.
The starting rotation pitched to an ERA under 2. A fly ball to left. Rivera over toward the line, and Ruiz is up. Well, Rogers Sportsnet will bring you all the action from Arizona for the All-Star Game, July 11th and 12th. The Home Run Derby will take place on Monday night, July 11th. Jose Bautista will be front and center in that Home Run Derby. The All-Star Game will be Tuesday night on July 12th. Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn will be there for all the action. They'll keep you up to date on what's going on. Roy Halliday plans on being there, I'm sure. John Farrell will be a coach for the American League All-Star team. So the Blue Jays will have a presence in the National League City, Arizona Diamondbacks home field, Chase Field. Ross Claude comes off the bench, a veteran left-handed hitter. Will bat with one out here in the 8th inning.
The Phillies' best pinch hitter. He has had 37 at-bats this year as a pinch hitter, and he's come up with 12 hits and 3 RBIs. Now's the time, Charlie Manuel says. Got to go to my best here in the 8th.
Well, you don't have many spots in this lineup where you're going to pinch hit all that frequently. So when you have the pitcher's spot, he sends him up, trying to spark a rally here with one out.
Still has another veteran on the bench in Raul Ibanez, who did not start this afternoon's game. Ibanez has been swinging a hot bat of late. There's Raul.
Ibanez batting just .235, but he's swinging a lot better recently. A fly ball in the left, Rivera. 2 outs. Ricky Romero started, went 6 1/3. He was charged with 4 runs on 7 hits. Jason Frazier worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit and a run. Now John Roush. Top of the order, Jimmy Rollins. He bats left-handed for the first time today.
When you face these teams that have won in the past, and the Phillies have won, obviously, there's no panicking when you get late into the ballgame. They still stay within themselves. They have good at-bats. That helps them to come back in these types of games.
Well, when you win, you understand what it takes to win. You know you got to play 27 outs. And there's only one measure of success in Philadelphia, and that's winning. Fly ball into the gap in right center. Rajay Davis takes over, catches it. 3 fly ball outs for John Roush here in the 8th. Blue Jays have a 1-run lead. Now it's time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. ball game. He goes 7 innings, gives up 8 hits, charged with 6 earned runs, and he gave up a couple of home runs.
Thames and Bautista got him for 2-run home runs, 93 pitches in his 7 innings. So Kendrick's afternoon is over. Danny Baez comes out of the bullpen for the Philadelphia Phillies. He has been in 26 games this year for Philadelphia. He leads the team in relief innings, 32 and 2/3 innings for Baez, a hard-throwing right-hander. Fastball, breaking ball, and he's got a little bit of a split. And then taking over at shortstop will be Michael Martinez. After Valdez was pinch hit for, Martinez takes over at shortstop for the Phillies.
So the Blue Jays, Encarnacion Rivera and Aaron Sebia set to bat here against Danny Baez. First pitch strike with a breaking ball. Encarnacion had a big 2-run double in his first at bat. Came with 2 outs in the first. First game of 3 against the Philadelphia Phillies, the final interleague series of the season. Check swing, roller to first. Baez gets over and takes the feed from Howard. We'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon at 1:07 start. Rory Halliday, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League, will pitch for Philadelphia. Jays on Sportsnet Game Cheer. The pregame show starts at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Rory Halliday against Carlos Villanueva. Villanueva taking a 5-1 record into the game. Halliday with 10 wins, one of several 10-game winners in the big leagues. Halliday hasn't addressed the media about his return to Toronto. He is scheduled to do that after the game tomorrow.
That was a nice thing before today's game, wasn't it? The video tribute to him. They asked him to bring out the lineup card so the fans could see him before he pitches tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. He took the lineup card to home plate, and the fans acknowledged his return to Rogers Center, and he tipped his cap as he made his way back to the Philly dugout. Jurgens, Kevin Correa, and Rory Halladay, all with 10 wins, lead the National League. Bouncing ball, Polanco.
Well, in case you missed it, this is what we were talking about. As it brings out the lineup card before the game, you talk to the umpires and go over the ground rules. Fans got a chance to see him. Right before that, they were showing a video montage on the board here in center field about all of his accomplishments here in Toronto. Fans got a chance to see him. Tomorrow, no chance of that. He'll have his game face on and thinking about pitching tomorrow.
Yeah, he's never one that really has enjoyed the limelight, but you could see a genuine smile and a sense of joy as he went back to home plate and got to acknowledge the great fans here. So many people still admire what he has done here as a Blue Jay, and certainly a lot of Philly fans have grown to love Roy Halladay and his efforts. Blue Jays with a 6-5 lead in the 8th with 2 outs. Frank Francisco cranking it up down in the bullpen. He's got 9 saves. JP Aaron Sebia with 2 outs. Baez, a lot of movement on that fastball up and in. Blue Jays have had 2 hitters hit this afternoon. That ball just ran up and in on Aaron Sebia.
What you worry about on that type of attempt is the ball hitting your hand while it's holding the bat. You'll be right on top of home plate.
Ground ball to short. Martinez has it. Danny Baez has a clean 8th inning. The Blue Jays will go to the 9th with a 1-run lead. Frank Francisco will come out of the bullpen. 6-5 game. Now it's time for a Hockey Central update. Here's Darren Millard.
Homeowners helping homeowners.
Francisco into the ball game with a save on the line. Francisco has 9 saves so far this season.
9 for 12 in saves. Picked up that latest save against Pittsburgh. His last time out, an inning. He did have a walk in that game. Throwing more fastballs. Staying on top of the ball a little bit more. The ERA keeps shrinking. Now standing at 4.3. He will have to face the middle of the lineup of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Polanco, Utley, and Ryan Howard. 2, 3, 4 in the Philly lineup. Two for 11 for the 3 scheduled batters so far. First pitch off the plate inside. 45,512 in attendance here at Rogers Center, the first of 3 against Philadelphia. Francisco's velocity has gotten better as the season's worn on.
Started the year on the disabled list, but every time he goes out there, seems like his fastball has a little bit more jump to it. He'll use that splitter also. Makes it a curveball, but it's been the fastball. And he's got good command up. Gaining confidence every time he goes out there.
It's Polanco's second stint with the Phillies. He was with the Phillies 2002, 03, 04. And in his free agent year, 05, he was dealt to the Detroit Tigers. Lays off that high fastball. Big out here, the leadoff batter in the ninth. 1-run ball game. Polanco came back to the Phillies as a free agent. He signed in the offseason of 2009. Fastball's been good. Boy, when he is down, he is tough.
94 miles an hour. Polanco was taken all the way, trying to get the home plate umpire, Brian O'Nora, to think that was outside, but it's right on the corner.
Polanco stays alive.
When you throw the fastball as much as Francisco does, you have to have confidence that you can get hitters out with it. And he does, gaining confidence with every outing.
Polanco's the second toughest hitter in the National League to strike out. And he walks to start the ninth.
That's something this whole team takes pride in. They have the fewest strikeouts in the National League, this whole Phillies team. So they will put the ball in play.
Once again, that winning attitude forces you to have good at-bats and think about the context of winning. Polanco does his job, the leadoff man on, representing the tying run.
Again, they show no panic, even in these tight situations against the closer late in games. The ability to perform when the pressure is at its highest. It's a sign of a winner.
A couple of tough left-handed hitters back-to-back, Utley and then Ryan Howard. Phillies down by a run. Francisco pitching with a lot of confidence. He's got all his weapons now.
Against lefties, he'll try and drop that curveball on the outer half, trying to get him to roll over and get the ball on the ground. He might throw that hard splitter to get a strikeout.
There's the splitter, just drifted off the plate outside.
That's just to get that left-hander to think about pulling it. They get him out front a little bit.
Chase Utley is one of the best fastball hitters in the game. He can handle anybody's fastball on the inner part of the plate.
The swing is so short. He's always barreling up balls. He's had the most home runs by a second baseman in the National League.
Pokes this one foul.
Over the last 7 years, nobody who has played second base in the National League has more home runs than Chase Utley. He has hit 172 home runs.
Ball is driven to left. Rivera back. Drifting onto the warning track. Off his glove. Up against the wall. Polanco headed for third. Utley will end up at second. That ball kept carrying, and Rivera just drifted on it. When he reached up for it, it went off his glove against the wall.
You know, you could tell from where we were, or where we are, that that ball was going to be drifting on him. Ball being pushed away from him. He turns to his glove side right there, but the ball is now slicing away from him. He has to do a pirouette, and it's off his glove. There, and now he's got a shift. And by that time, it's too late. Right off the end of the glove, what should be an out. Polanco now will go to third base. Utley in the second base.
What a great piece of base running by Polanco. He got all the way around second base to watch Rivera make the attempt in left. When it went off his glove, he moves over to third. Utley's right behind him in scoring position at second. Tough spot. Second and third, nobody out. Middle of the order for the Phillies. He mentioned the fact the Phillies never give up. And here they are, knocking on the door in the ninth.
They have won 10 games this year in their last at bat. Trying to take advantage of a mistake. Surprised that they're going to pitch to Ryan Howard. First base open.
Howard's really hadn't shown a lot of patience this year, chasing a lot of pitches out of the zone. You've got the switch hitter on deck, Shane Victorino, who's more likely to put the ball in play.
Well, this would work out if they could get Howard to strike out, and he can strike out a lot. Then you can take the bat out of Victorino's hand.
Victorino has 3 hits. He's driven in 2 and scored 2. This is the pivotal at bat right here. Ball and a strike. Again, Howard chasing that high fastball. To get Howard out, then you have the opportunity to put Victorino on and work to the right-handed hitting Ben Francisco.
And that's where we might see Ibanez right there, another veteran lefty.
There's a base hit into center. Polanco will come in. Utley's right behind him. The Phillies have taken the lead here in the ninth. Ryan Howard delivers. 65 and 66 RBIs now for Howard.
And he fought off a fastball. They wanted to go up to try and get the strikeout. That's where strike 2 was in that at bat. But he just got too much of the plate, didn't get it up high enough. And Howard is a big man. That's where they wanted this one up. See J.P. Insignia coming out of his crouch. And that will score Utley easily. A tie-breaking run.
Shane Victorino, 3 hits already this afternoon. He's walked as well. Average at 297. Ball on the strike. Juan Rivera got twisted around on the ball off Utley's bat and then off his glove. Went for a double, and the Phillies have cashed in. Outside. It'll be the fourth blown save of the season for Frank Francisco. Leadoff walk. Comes back immediately. Victorino stays alive.
Yeah, Polanco leading off this inning really grinded out that at bat. Cut the count to 3-2 and then ended up walking. We're dealing with hitters who've been here before in big situations. Phillies have played in a World Series. They've been in the playoffs the last 3 years.
They just never gave up. They knew at this point of their lineup, with Polanco leading things off, and had a chance to get back in the ball game. And not only did they get back, they've taken the lead. 2 runs, still nobody out. Popped up, shallow left field. Rivera coming on. Makes the catch. Victorino's retired for the first time this afternoon. Bautista certainly has a different presence playing third base than he did in right field, as far as reminding everybody of situations and where they're at in the ball game. Comes over to give some final instructions to Francisco.
The captain of that infield, and pump up your pitcher. Saw that from Carlos Pena a lot last year with Tampa Bay when he was there, just taking control of the infield.
1 out. Then Francisco's had a good day at the plate. It's a first pitch strike. Francisco had an RBI double in the second, and then a sac fly in the seventh. Phillies have had a lot of injuries to their closer. Antonio Bastardo is the closer right now, and he is loosening up.
They have had Brad Lidge go on the disabled list and Jose Contreras, so trying to put it together at the end of the game.
And Francisco drives it to left. That's off the wall. Rivera plays it on the bounce. He goes to second base, and it's offline. Francisco continues to swing a hot bat. Goes first to third.
26 pitches now for Francisco in this inning, so you don't want to take him out of tomorrow's game. So John Farrell's going to go to the mound, take his closer out. Francisco can't finish it. Mark Zebchinski trots in. Blue Jays now find themselves down by a run.
your Canada Day weekend, Sunday, July 3rd. The Blue Jays will finish up the Phillies series. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. It's Mr. Sub Sports Bag Day. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Mr. Sub Sports Bag. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. A great finish to an outstanding weekend over Canada Day weekend. Mark Zebchinski on in relief.
Saw him yesterday. He had a 1-2-3 inning against the Pirates. Went right after him. Used his fastball and his breaking ball. Very effective. Right now looking for a punch out against the left-hander.
First pitch, breaking ball for a strike. Dominic Brown, the right fielder. Brown's had a double and scored.
Infield in. Can't afford to give up any more runs. Bautista way off the line at third base with the left-hander up.
Jam. Bautista has it. Howard holds his ground at third. Zebchinski gets the first batter he faces. Boy, Bautista was positioned perfectly, well off the line.
Yeah, he had that scatter report that Brown doesn't hit the ball down the left field line, so you're right, positioned perfectly, make that play, takes a quick look over at third base, holds the runner.
2 outs. Carlos Ruiz, an RBI single in the 6th. Zebchinski's handled right-handers fairly well. He's got that good sinking fastball. If he keeps it down, it's a lot of easy ground ball outs.
Ball and strike like that right there. That's a tough pitch for a right-handed batter to do anything with. You've got to have a little history with Zebchinski and know what he's going to try and do to him. Watch where he takes this fastball down and away, and you've got to be thinking as a right-handed batter going the other way with that one.
Breaking ball. John McDonald at short. Zebchinski does his job, gets the 2 batters his face, but the Blue Jays will go to the bottom of the ninth. Rajai Davis, John McDonald, Aaron Hill as they try to get back in it. Rogers Center on Canada Day. The Blue Jays trail by a run. Fans trying to get them back into the ball game. Antonio Bastardo has been on a roll. Bastardo has really gone well as a closer. Just 13 walks, 33 strikeouts. He's been red hot.
Really came out of nowhere for the Phillies. They 29 innings pitched, 11 hits. Look at his splits all the way around. Walks to strikeouts, earned run average. Shuttled between the Phillies and AAA all last season. He made the opening day roster last year, appeared in 7 games, then was optioned back, but back and forth, and they've had their problems with the closing situation. So he has come in, and he has really done really well for them. Lefties, righties, it doesn't matter.
Well, the outfield defense has really proved costly to the Blue Jays. You go back onto the road trip here in Cincinnati. Patterson and Bautista got their signals crossed and falls for an inside-the-park home run.
Same thing in St. Louis between Patterson and Rivera. This one bounces by the right fielder. Again, in last night's game, some confusion between the outfielders and the infielders. And then again this afternoon, this is a big one off the bat of Utley. It'll go as a double, but clearly a catchable ball.
8-9-1 for the Blue Jays as they are down by a run. Davis cuts on the first pitch. Antonio Bastardo has made 13 straight scoreless appearances. He's allowed 1 hit in the last 33 at-bats.
Fastball, breaking ball.
And it's a pretty firm fastball at 93. Bastardo hasn't allowed a run since May 25th. Breaking ball is fouled out of play. Boy, you'd love to get Rajay Davis on base here.
Yeah, he is a game changer if he can get on base. With his speed, it's allowed John Farrell to do a lot of things, multiple things when he is on base. Got to get there first.
Fouls it back. Well, if he can get on, boy, you got the guy behind him that can handle the bat. You give Davis a pitch or two to steal, and then McDonald can handle the bat, push it to the right side. You can run him to third. So many options, but it's all about Davis getting on.
Right. And Bastardo doesn't walk too many batters, so you got to be ready for something around the plate. He's only given up 7 hits all season long to a right-handed batter.
Great crowd on hand. They'd love to see a 9th inning comeback. Two and two. Popped into center field. One down. John McDonald started out the ball game at second base, moved to shortstop after Yunel Escobar had to leave the game. He was hit by a pitch in the first. McDonald 1 for 3.
And you can see Johnny Mack looking around to the infield, seeing if there's an opportunity to drop a bunt down here, maybe get on first base. Scatter report knows about that as the corners are in.
Got his first pitch fastball, but swung right through it.
Just his second year in the big leagues for Bastardo. He's 25 years old.
Off speed pitch. Fouled into the seats. Mentioned the Phillies have had all sorts of injuries. Brad Lidge went down in the spring. Jose Contreras on the disabled list. Ryan Madsen was closing, and then he too was on the DL. So they've gone to the youngsters.
Madsen had 15 saves and 3 wins out of the bullpen before he got hurt.
0-2.
Johnny Mack wasn't thinking about a soft single to right field there. He was thinking about extra bases with that swing.
right off the catcher, Carlos Ruiz. You see, it's not quite as painful as it looks. It caught that ear flap, and that helmet doesn't grab onto that strap very well and just popped right off. Another 0-2 pitch to John McDonald. And buries that breaking ball in the dirt. Bastardo doing such a good job coming into this game. 33 strikeouts in 29 innings.
Basically 2 pitches, fastball, and he throws a breaking ball. Hard slider.
Another pop-up. This one on the infield. Second baseman, Chase Utley. 2 down. The Blue Jays are down to their final out. The Phillies have taken the lead in the top of the ninth, the 2-run inning. Aaron Hills hit the ball 3 times. Lined out to left, single to center, and single to second.
Now a little confirmation of how they want to face Aaron Hill. Bastardo, his first couple of years in the minor leagues, was a starter. He has transitioned into the bullpen. Eric Thames waits on deck.
First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Thames is homered. He's on deck.
Charlie Manuel was talking to us before the ball game about his bullpen, and I asked him who's his closers. He said, we got a lot of young kids down there. A lot of them that came up from Lehigh Valley, their AAA team this year, and they're doing a heck of a job. This was one of the kids. Bastardo was one of them. Stoops was the other one that he mentioned that he'll close ball games with, depending on the matchups.
7 of the current relievers in the Philly bullpen. 5 have pitched in AAA this year.
Valuable to have those kids just a phone call away to come up here and help you win a ball game.
Two balls and a strike, 2 outs. Good eye. Right off that breaking ball. Eric Thames on deck.
Ruiz, the catcher, getting down there, really wanting that ball low. Got to keep the ball in the ballpark.
Now, not only does it emphasize that fact to the pitcher, but it gives the umpire a good look. Full count, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Phillies win it. Bastardo comes out of the bullpen and has a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Strikes out Aaron Hill to end it. Ben Francisco had a big day, as did Shane Victorino. But Ryan Howard had the decisive blow in the ninth. Rory Halliday will start tomorrow afternoon in his return to Rogers Center. Blue Jays lose a tough one, 7-6 here. Now, stay tuned on Rogers. Hockey Central, free agent edition. Darren Millard will host.